Hi there.
Hi.
Maria Whitfield here with Julie Shopa of clarityfinances.com. Oh my goodness. We are so excited to get to share her journey with you. We have just completed about a good full year of work together and started with a 6-month healing journey and then continued to open from there into her being part of the Visionary Shaman Circle and its birth. And Julie is an amazing light. She's manifested some really incredible things, and I'm so happy that she's agreed to share her story with you. It's our hope, our prayer that you be encouraged by our time together, and when you're ready, come and join the tribe. So Julie, my gosh, like I'm so proud of you. I just have to say.
Thank you.
I'm super, super proud of you. And so for them that are watching right now, for the person that might not have met you yet, could you please tell us who you are and what's your gift?
Well, I have a bookkeeping business, so I help entrepreneurs keep track of their numbers and understand those numbers and move forward in confidence using those numbers to be more profitable. Part of what I do that I really never talked about and I'm about to start talking about is I pray for all of my clients. I pray while I'm doing their work. That's kind of probably why it's easier for me to do it than, but that's mainly, I really like to help entrepreneurs who have a big vision get the things like bookkeeping out of the way that would hold them back, because they have other things they can do with that time, and I can do it much faster. So I like to just, take that piece and make it not be a stress for them, and then let them move forward doing what they, do best.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I love that. Isn't that amazing to get to have a virtual bookkeeper who prays over your money and who is incredible at keeping things organized and safe, so that as a creative entrepreneur, we get to take steps that are guided by faith, knowing that we've got an angel like you backing us up. I'm so proud of you. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So with that, this is what your gift is now. But let's go back. What originally, has it always been this way? Like, what initially inspired you to work with me? Like, how did that happen? Yeah. Where were you before?
Well, before, because I met you a few years ago through what is now the Bullet Hearts, the Mindset Retreat. And at that point, I became immersed in the community of people that were a lot of other people that went to that retreat and then became a part of that tribe. And in that, there was a lot of people there who are spiritual and had practices that I wasn't familiar with. And some of them were things that were kind of scary to me, because my background has been at it happened to be a non-denominational church, but a church where I was doing a lot of Bible study. And the church as a whole didn't talk about a lot of just spiritual things, even just the energy stuff and the vortex and all that stuff was new to me. And yet there I was. So I really wanted to learn more about it, but I also needed to talk to somebody that would understand why I was like nervous about what should I be exploring, what shouldn't I be exploring, how does the Holy Spirit feel about this. And we had a conversation, and you happened to mention that you had gone to Christian school growing up. I'm like, oh, then you know the Bible. Yeah. So that was like, that's like, great. You're the perfect person to talk to, because before I knew that, I was comfortable talking to you, but I knew that the things that you were talking about were all those kinds of things that I was curious about, but was like, what am I supposed to be, what am I supposed to be getting into, and what am I not supposed to be? And just to be able to have that conversation was so helpful for me at that point. So that was a couple years ago. What caused me to work with you a year ago was just there was a lot of things going on in my life that were very painful, that there was just no one that I could talk to about them. And I wanted somebody that had, the intuitive stuff, somebody that had a relationship with the Lord, somebody that I knew wouldn't judge me. And that was like, I knew I could tell you stuff, and these were things that I wasn't going to tell anybody else. It's like, all right, I'm either sitting by myself with me and God, or, but I really, really needed to talk to a person. So that was, why I initially started to work with you. And I really feel like that cleared up pretty quickly. The pain of that and the healing just was very rapid. And then we started just getting into, well, how can we pull my business and what, and who I am, and be more of who I am showing up in my business instead of just like the bookkeeper. So, yeah. So I stayed with you.
Yay! So, yeah, being just the bookkeeper. You're so different now. Just as a side note, can you tell us the difference of where your business was before, like what you had created it as before? This is not for you watching us talk. Like, I want you to know I didn't come in and change her business or anything like that. This is all spiritual support on her healing journey. And I happen to be able to download business advice and encouragement to being an entrepreneur and business owner myself, right? So it's not like I'm a business coach, but I'm just curious if you wanted to share, what was your business like before? How would you have described her before? The change, and then what is it like now, right?
Well, as far as what I do, I'm still doing the same thing. What changed more is how I felt about it and who I worked with, and what I tolerated. It's more of that type of thing. There's what would be different is there's a lot of clients that I don't work with anymore because it was not, it just wasn't fun. I was not enjoying working with those clients. So what I did is I guess I gave myself permission in working with you to just draw the line and be like, I only want to work with clients I love, because I don't want to see somebody calling me and I don't want to talk to them. I want to always be happy to pick up the phone to help my clients. So that means I have to love them all. So fine, I'm just only going to work with people I love, and everyone else I'll just eventually, give to other bookkeepers. And I've even been finding some, because now I'm down in Tampa, but I get a lot of calls from the Philadelphia area. I found a couple bookkeepers finally, now that I'm not there anymore, that are good. They have the experience that I have with going to lots of different businesses, and I can just tell by talking to them that they would be great people to refer clients that I can't, people that need somebody on site, or, things that I just can't do anymore. So it's, it's been very easy once I made that decision to just shift to have only the clients that I love, and without feeling bad because you're abandoning someone or anything like that. So it just was, just almost like I'm like, I think I'm going to up my standards for myself. And the other thing was letting go of the this push to I've got to grow this business before I can do what I really want to do. So I decided I've always just wanted to do this to kind of pay the bills, but what I'd really want to do is go do mission work and take teams of people around the world to help people, things like that. And I was thinking, all right, I have to be independently wealthy, grow this business big enough so that it runs itself. And I finally was like, you know what? I'm not excited about this. I'm trying to write goal cards and stuff. And I'm like, I don't care about doubling my business. Not really. I care about what I can, so I just shifted and decided, I want to be independently wealthy, however that happens. But right now I'm going to start praying more. I'm going to start, going on short-term mission trips, getting involved. And I found a church I really like down here, getting involved in that and just moving forward into what I really want to do. And only take clients I love so that, so that I'm having fun with the work with the bookkeeping that I do. And I get to do a lot of networking now. That's one of the fun things about moving is you've got to meet all new people. So for me, I mean, if you like that, which I do. So I'm doing heavy duty networking, and it's easier than it used to be too. Like I have more energy for it somehow.
Yeah. Yay! Oh my gosh, like whenever I listen to you describe all the things that are coming through your spirit, it's such an inspiration because you're so confident, you're so good, you're so clear. Like this is, I'm so proud of you. Oh my gosh. And to have that momentum and to know, you know what, I can shift my state and start creating what I'm really in alignment with now, rather than waiting for some kind of process to go through, chunking along. No, you really can. That's I'm so amazed. My cheeks, I swear I'm gonna get a smile cramp on this one. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Oh my gosh. So, like, from our time working together, was there anything that, like, was your favorite? Like, what were your favorite things about it? Was it the ease of, like, Skyping, or was it just being together, or the Oracle card, like, or the
They were cool too.
yeah.
There was a lot. I would say if I had to pick what was the thing that was my absolute, the thing that meant the most to me was the times that you prayed for me. But it was always like, I always looked forward. All right. For one who has gone to counseling periodically, you don't always look forward to going to counseling, but I always looked forward to my calls with you. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, there's so much but that you prayed for me and that I really felt safe. Like I was not going to be judged. You were going to love me no matter what came out of my mouth, pretty much. And, so that was really cool. And yeah, the Oracle cards were fun.
Oh my gosh, I feel emotional. Like that just makes me joyful. And by the way, who we're speaking with right now her nickname is Joyful Julie. Yeah. Which is amazing. But it's for me personally, it's such an honor to get to pray for someone and to connect to source energy, to really, have the chills of confirmations coming through, not just me, but also through you. And then when like channeled messages come through, like sometimes I'll have tears or you'll have tears, like that strong resonance. Amazing. And it's just, the word I just heard is fellowship. It's like a true connected fellowship.
Yeah, and that's important to me. I love that. I mean, that's a deep need that I have and something that I'm always looking for. So.
I hear you. Me too. So, you're smart. You have if you cry, it doesn't come off mascara. What is that called?
Well, it's waterproof. But...
yeah, that's right. One day I'll buy that. One day. Yeah. Oh gosh. So, with all this, like, what have you created and what are you excited to create now that we've been together? You mentioned that you had moved, right? For who's watching, they're like, what she mean? She moved. What happened?
Well, I guess in shifting my focus on waiting until my business got to a certain level and then I would do what I wanted to do, I think I just decided I'm going to do what I want to do, because my business ended up not going in the direction that I thought. I had hired somebody that was, she was supposed to help grow my business and get me super systematized. And while there were things that she was really great at, growing my business wasn't happening. That wasn't one of her strong points. So I couldn't afford to keep her. And when I looked at all of my financial information, because of course I do that, so I was making the same, like the gross revenue was the same as the year before, but my profit was way, way down because here I am paying this employee that I couldn't afford, that I didn't need, you know. So basically my profit was very, very low. And I realized that, like, I could just shut the doors. Like, I'm not making money. I could just shut the doors and go to Tampa and start over. So as soon as that got into my head, I was like, well, I've been planning for a few years. Like, the plan was next year. Well, actually, no, now it's this year. But I was supposed to move in my head after my son graduated from college. So it was the spring of 2017. So I'm a year ahead of schedule with that. So, but there had been a plan to shift my business to be more remote so that I could travel or move or whatever. So I sat down and analyzed all my clients, and my biggest, best clients were all remote already. So I was like, all right, I can support myself on these clients, take them with me. I'll just keep flying back and transition everyone else, and I'll build my business in Tampa. And it was like within 2 weeks, I was like, all right, I made my decision. I'm coming down. And I mean, it did make it a lot easier that the reason I ended up in Tampa in the first place was my boyfriend that I started to visit back in February. And he said, oh, I would have you move in yesterday. I was like, okay. So that made it easier. But still, I mean, I got in my, packed up what I could in my car and drove down and joined a BNI chapter. And, here I am.
Yeah.
Everything. And I still do fly back to finish stuff up, especially the end of the year. And because it was middle of the year and it wasn't planned in the first place to go at that moment in time. So still transitioning and seeing family and whatnot.
Naturally.
But yeah, so that was actually, and I mean, I've been building great relationships with the BNI chapter that I'm in, which is, and then, connections through them. And so, it's starting to take off. And it's great. I get to be by the beach.
I remember when we first started, and we won't go into your personal life, but I remember when we first started your sessions, I don't think you're even with the guy that you're with.
No.
Is that correct?
No, I was with one. All right. There was one that been trying to get rid of. For a little while, and he just what
you had your letter to the universe written out of like who your ideal
my ideal man. Well, that I had written summer of 2014, which was when I was talking to the guy I'm with now. But yeah, we had talked for a brief time. Happened to be when I wrote it. Never shared that with him then or anything. Didn't think wasn't thinking that. Interestingly enough. But now when I was first started, I was in the process of trying to detach from someone that had been this 4-year relationship of basically him draining me emotionally and energetically and really getting nothing in return. At that point, it was pretty much nothing. So, and yet I was still like, he just still hanging out with him because it was something that I needed to let go of and move away from. And, then there was, some other issues in there.
Yes.
So there's a couple, I just needed to let go, release some inappropriate, some men that just weren't right for me so that there would be space for someone better. Yeah. And it was about believing that I was worth it and that someone else actually would love me.
That's right.
So
it's interesting. Isn't it interesting though, that you had like we began with the relationship that you were in there was draining. And then there's the employee also,
It was
right?
draining.
That was draining. And through the work of just opening, and not just me. So Julie also, like, we believe in a team approach. So like doing this meditation course that you had, as well as, I mean, like speaking to other people. But for me, I was the ongoing support in your journey. But having that, really building your momentum of letting go of having people who drain you as like something that's acceptable. Like it's no longer acceptable. And from there, like moving from being in like a low vibe relationship to having the courage to be in no relationship, moving from having a low vibe employee to be like, you know what, we're just going to clean everything, including you, right? Yeah. Moving from that to saying, okay, and not just that, but also living in that same town and that same apartment or condo, how you were, to saying no, there's more for me, and then welcoming in new love and welcoming higher vibrational clients, right? Having the courage to do that. And even I remember your session where we got, like, you and I got the download that I'm a virtual bookkeeper. That can exist. Like being a virtual bookkeeper. No, I have offices up in Philadelphia. Oh, I have offices down in Tampa. And yeah, when I'm up there, I'll see you. But when I'm not, I won't. But we'll take care of it anyway, because you're a virtual bookkeeper anyway. But before, it was just like, oh, I'm just a bookkeeper. Oh, I'm just in this relationship. Or, oh, I'm just limited to this one space. You've opened, and it's like incredible what you've created. My goodness. Wow. Yay. Oh, man. Man, I could, celebrating is my favorite thing, so I could keep on going. But, you know, the reason why you and I are talking right now is because of the person watching our conversation, who may have been, or not even been, who is right now in your before, right? Who's surrounded by people who drain them, stuck with their business, feeling uninspired, and just not really knowing what their purpose. I remember you and I have had so many conversations like, I don't really know if I have a purpose, or etc. And now, right out the gate, us talking just now, you're like, I'm gonna go on missions. I pray for my clients. I do, like, you know your purpose. You're super clear. Clarity Finances, which is brilliantly named, right? But for the person that's watching right now, who's in the before, who's not clear, who's feeling the strain and the drain and feeling stuck, and who hasn't opened up yet or taken the leap of faith, right? And trusted God, and you know what, I'm gonna invest in myself. What would you say to her? What would you say to him? Do you have any words of encouragement?
Well, investing in yourself is always the best investment you can make. Even if it doesn't turn out how you thought it was going to in the beginning, you never walk away with nothing. You always gain, and no one can take that back when you invest in yourself. It's also kind of making a statement that you're worth it. I mean, if you're never going to bother investing in yourself, like, who are you investing in? I mean, and who else is going to invest in yourself if you want to invest in yourself? So I definitely think, I mean, I have invested a lot myself. But I do think that, that everybody should, at whatever level whatever level you can start and do that. I mean, I do think it's a good thing to figure out how you're going to pay for that type of thing when you're investing financially, or even the time too, because time is also a resource. It's good to look at that. But it's definitely another one of those things where you should never be saying, oh, I can't afford it, I don't have the time. It's like, how can I afford it? Where can I find the time? Rather than, that no, try to go with the yes. And then for me, I mean, I have this feeling like I can't not do something. Like sometimes I'll have that, like it's in a good way. I mean, not like I know I'm supposed to do it. It's like God saying, just, you need to do this and I will make a way. So if you have one of those feelings, you kind of have to go with that because you'll regret it if you don't. I know that too. But sometimes it's, it could go either way. So then you analyze it and pros and cons. But I just feel like investing in yourself is always worth it. Absolutely.
Yeah, because you are. And for someone who's on the fence about starting their healing journey at the dojo, whether it's like one-on-one sessions with me or the Visionary Shaman Circle, which is our group vortex of other entrepreneurs here, do you have any encouragement for them? They're like, I don't know, or I don't know if I can keep up, or I believe, but I'm afraid, right?
For all those kinds of things, yeah. Well, first of all, they just need to spend time with you because it's not scary. You don't make it scary. You're very clear and you explain things really well. Well, I mean, the very first time I met you, something happened to my computer.
Oh, wow. Here we go with the technology.
Wait, can you still see me?
I can still see
something
you.
else. Oh, good.
And we're still going.
I'm not touching my computer anymore. I'm done. When I first met you, we were like at a meal or something, and there was a whole bunch of people there, and you were just like laughing and bubbly. So I'm like, well, that's nice. It wasn't until I actually talked to you and talked to you at length, it's like, oh my gosh, she is so freaking smart. So you have you have this huge amount of wisdom as well as like educational intelligence, but an experience and the things that you've studied and journeys you've gone on and everything. So you bring a lot to the table, and yet there's nothing like pretentious or anything. Like you're just so easy to be with. So as far as that goes, just getting to work with you is really, it's worth doing that, whether you do it in a group or not. But all the people that you attract to you seem really cool. Everybody I've met, I really like. So I just, I kind of feel like if someone feels drawn to work with you, they're supposed to work with you. That's, and I'm usually I don't usually get scared about starting. I might get scared in the middle, but if I feel drawn, I'm like, I'm doing this. But I know a lot of other people are like, oh, I don't know. And you just just push that aside and step into what if you really feel like this is where you're supposed to be, just step into it and check it out.
Awesome. Julie, I mean, wow, I don't even know what to say. That was so, I know what to say. Thank you. I am so grateful that you're in my life. I'm so grateful that God, that source activated that heart connection between you and I this time around, because I know that although our one-on-one journey, like healing you, has come to an end, I know that we're destined to continue to create and go out and heal because our world really needs the light that you shine, and I know that the world really needs the light that I shine. Together, our lights become so much brighter, right?
Definitely.
Much better. So I'm really, really grateful for you and for that encouragement. It's so humbling. Yeah. So where can anyone find you, by the way, if they wanted to go check you out and support you, or just say, hey, thank you for your encouragement, like that really spoke to my spirit? Where can they-
Let's see. Well, I do have a Facebook page, but my website is clarityfinances.com. And so that's probably the easiest way to start.
With an S at the end, right?
Yes, clarityfinances.com.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Mhm.
And for you who's watching, if you feel like you're ready to get started, by all means, come on over to naturalintuition.com and click on the Connect Now button so that you can see which one works best for you. Or if you have questions for me, you can email me at senseivictoriawhitfield@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you and we'll continue to go from there. But what matters most is how you feel. And you'll feel so much more loved and so much more clear when you make just that first step out of faith. And just like Julie was saying now, she's a woman of faith. I'm a woman of faith too. We believe in, if we're feeling the resonance, that feeling, that connection is guidance from source. That's saying, this is where you need to make a step. So listen to your intuition, listen to your instinct, make that first step and reach out, whether it's to me or to Julie, by the way. And let's continue forward. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Julie.
You're welcome.
Mwah! All right.